Good morning, Living Waters. Welcome back to Coffee, Pastor Zach. We're looking at this theme of community and why in our lives going forward, coming out of this pandemic, and we will come out of it, why community is so important for setting ourselves up for joy and purpose and goodness the rest of our life. Community enhances all those things. That doesn't say that community doesn't have its headaches. Like I said, there's always any gathering of human beings. Conflict is inevitable. There's always going to be, perhaps moments that are frustrating, but there are also moments that are extremely rewarding. And they outweigh the headaches, in my opinion. But then again, anything of value takes a little work too. All right. With that in mind, the lesson of the withered fig tree, found in Mark chapter 11, verses 20 through 35, is where we find ourselves today. Now, what do fig trees have to do with community? I guess you can say they're well-rooted. Gaelic community's rooted? Okay, anyway. All right. This is the passage, right, that they, ask that Jesus curses the fig tree, it is withered, and, Peter's like, hey, look, it happened. Very observant, Peter. And Jesus has this line that I think often gets misunderstood. So I tell you, verse 24, so I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. This is an English problem, really. Actually, it's a translation problem. Our plural you is it doesn't really exist. It's y'all, technically, if we're gonna, y'all, you all. But in the Greek, there's a plural you, and that's what we have here. So, better translated, we've run into this before. So I tell y'all, whatever y'all ask for in prayer, believe that y'all have it, and it will be all of y'all's. Had to give y'all, right? And it continues, all these things. When y'all stand praying, forgive if y'all have anything against anyone, so that y'all's Father in heaven may also forgive y'all all y'all's trespasses. Oh, this guy almost messed up there, right? It's a collective. It's faith. This idea of an individual faith is relatively new. We're looking like 1800s America. No, I guess you could have some roots earlier than that, but it really blew up then. This dispensationalist Christianity, right? That it's not about, yes, we want a personal relationship with God, so to speak, but God's very clear, as we heard yesterday and again today. We're supposed to be in community with one another. Like I said, communion's not as I said Sunday, the communion's not a party of one, right? It's a gathering. It's a uniting. It is us coming out together against all our differences for the sake of Christ, the mission of God that's most important. And like I said at the beginning, there's always going to be people perhaps that we don't get along with. That's okay. The power of Christ is stronger than any difference we could have. And so yes, these passages, I picked this one because we're in the Mark here, and I felt appropriate to use Mark, but there's constantly these passages that Jesus makes these kind of conditional statements. If you do this, this will happen. You have been entrusted with this, therefore do this. I'm trying to think. What are some other, you all feed my sheep. Or, Anyway, it's always plural. And with the English, it got translated as you, and we kind of lost it. That's my theory of why it took off, because people didn't do the scholarship and just read the English, and it does sound more individual, but that's not what Jesus said. Aramaic, Greek, they have plural yous. That's what God said. Just like the same God who we heard in Ezekiel addressed the power of community as well, as we'll hear for the next 3 days. We're meant to live in community. Science has told us this over and over again. We seem surprised. We do better in community. During isolation, it didn't go well for people because we're meant to be in community. God's been telling us that all along, right? I mean, the Genesis passage. It's not good for humankind to be alone, or man, Adam, not to be alone. That's a theological statement. We're meant to be in community. I'm going to stop there before I spoil the rest of the week. But that's a good place to stop for now. So, have a wonderful day. God bless you. And let's get back together tomorrow. Together as community tomorrow.